Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. I'm Lightheart from the Prosperity and Health Alliance, and I'm so glad that you joined us this evening. Of course, it's 8 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock on the East Coast, 6 o'clock on the West Coast. To be here, I want to thank you so much for joining. So excited about it. Well, we're going to talk about something. Actually, I'm going to put share my screen here as well. So let me get this rolling. Share screen. And that is 3 keys to mastering your inner game. And if you don't know about this, the inner game is everything. People talk about business, people talk about sales, people talk about sports, people talk about happiness, whatever it is. Mastering your inner game is absolutely critical. It's absolutely critical. Now, there's a couple of things that you can learn, and I'm going to share with you tonight about how you can master your inner game and grow your business. You can apply these keys to virtually anything that you want in your life. And that's why I love doing this. I love training, and I'm so excited about this project. So let's talk about this right now. What are the keys to mastering your inner game? Well, there's really 3 things. Now, what's interesting is mastering your inner game. There's a couple of components that contribute to what people see outside. And so I've broken it down into 3 categories: mindset, belief, and posture. Mindset, belief, and posture. So what makes these different? How are they different? What separates them from maybe what you're doing or what you're thinking of or what it is? Well, mindset is kind of the mental attitude that you take. Mindset is, I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to learn what I need to learn. I'm going to invest what I need to invest. I'm going to work like I need to work. I'm going to do whatever it takes. That's, as I say, whatever it takes. It's moral, legal, and ethical, right? You don't want to, you don't want to do anything else, right? So whatever it takes on those levels. Next thing, belief. What's belief? Well, belief, a lot of people will take a lot of action, but if they don't have their belief built up, what they do is they become busy, but they don't become productive. What do I mean by that is they're doing a lot of activities. So they're saying, wait, I'm working all the time in my business. I'm talking to people. No one's listening. I don't know why. Everyone says the machine's too priced. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. There's all this stuff. Well, I can tell you what it is your belief muscle is weak. And so we're going to help you get your belief muscle up. And I'm going to show you how to do that this evening. Or this morning, depending where you are. And then finally is what does that translate back to? What does that come back to? Well, it comes back to posture. You see, where the business starts to switch for everybody, or everything starts to switch, is when you have what people call posture. And posture means things come to you. You're not chasing. You're not going after the other things. You're not trying to create problems where none exist. You just have this posture, this character, and you've probably seen people that have it. And you go, how did they get that? Well, the thing is, not everybody has that all the time. You develop it. You can cultivate it. You can actually learn that if you don't have it. All of these things you can learn. So let's get into it. Mindset. Well, now I got a lot of papers here on my desk, and I run a lot of businesses. I got a lot of people working with me. And I got this here, right? What does that say? It says Wade's goal list for 2018. And then I've got the next 90 days. Okay. And then I've got my 90-day action plan. And then I got my daily routine. And then I've got some summaries of finances and things like that about my business stuff, right? And then I got some other goals here at the end that all tie into this. So why do I have this in loose paper on my desk in a digital world? I'll tell you why. Because every morning I get up and I read my goals out every single day. And I try to take action towards them every single day. And when it comes to my businesses, I have a 10-year plan. I have a 3-year plan. I have an 18-month plan. I have a 1-year plan. And I have a 3-month plan. So every year I plan, I readjust the 10-year, the 3-year, the 18 months, the 1 year, and 3 months. People go, why do you do that? Well, it's really hard to get focused on anything more than 3 months. But you need to have the big picture vision, but you got to bring that down. And you can learn this from a book called Traction by Gino Wickman. I think it's an amazing. Teaches you how to think strategically about your business and how to make things happen in your business in a way of how you set things in order. And that's really, really important for you to do. So 10-year, 3-year, 18-month, and 1 year, and 3 months. Now they go by a 10-year, a 3-year, and a 1 year, and then the 90-day sprints or the goals. And there's a good reason for that. Peter Drucker, the famous Harvard business professor, guy that really knew, they think he's one of the greatest, the father of the modern MBA. He always says set business goals on 18 months. And there's a good reason for that. So having your goals, and there's lots of different ways. There's lots of different stuff out there. One of my friends, Stefan Perlanos, or excuse me, he goes by Stefan James now. Sorry, Stefan. Stefan James. And he's got an amazing routine. So you can go to Lifestyle Mastery. He talks about how he sets goals. He's a goal achieving machine. Tony Robbins, same thing. I also keep a little book like this, and I write down what I'm going to do each and every day. I like these little moleskins. They're really nice. And I have a pen and paper, because if I don't write it down, it just doesn't quite stick the same. And I have my goals about my energy goals and all this stuff. So what is that? Why am I talking about all this stuff, right? Mindset, getting your mindset in the right place. Every day I'm writing out what I'm doing tomorrow. So I write out what I'm going to do tomorrow, tonight. And when I get up in the morning, I'm in execution mode. I'm not in thinking mode. I'm executing. Okay? That's important. You got to know where you're going, and then you got to break it down. Then you got to get to 3 months, because 3 months is not a lot of time. A year is a long time, right? It's too airy-fairy. So you got to make it happen now. You got to break that down now. Like, I've got my goals right here. How much income do I want to make? Right? How much income do I want to make in the business? I don't know if you can see this over here, probably not, but I'm just going to turn my camera up there. You can see these charts. I got charts. I got to get to work, right? And I'm doing this because it's the mindset, right? If I don't do this, and I learned this back when I was competing as a bodybuilder, I learned it when I was training, I learned it in those days. That's what I was doing. I was like, I was focused on I'll give you another example. So I'll talk about mindset. And like I said, this is a little different than we're doing in other ways, but I think this is really, really, really important that you get this. So, last year was a really stressful year for me. I've got a bunch of businesses. I had a lot of things happen, a lot of unfortunate things happen. It was a tough year, one of my toughest years ever. It got to me, and, I gained a bunch of weight, right? I gained a bunch of weight. So I remember it was at the end of the year, and I was going, man, I always gain some weight at Christmas time. That's kind of a thing I do. And I gained some weight at Christmas time. And so, but I was going into Christmas at the weight I'm usually leaving Christmas. And that's like 10, 15 pounds heavier than I like to be. And I was going into Christmas, and I said, what am I going to do? Am I going to spoil my Christmas and start dieting for the holidays? And I said, no. I'm going to go up to my heaviest weight ever. I'm going to just go until I'm disgusted with myself. And disgust is a powerful thing because it activates the mindset. So I literally got up to a weight I haven't been to in years. I was like 215 pounds, which is a lot of weight. I'm a big guy, but that's way too much weight for me at this age. Back when I was in my 20s or something was cool. So anyways, so what did I do? On January 1st, I wrote out, okay, I'm going into contest mode. I'm going back to an area that I had before. I set my mindset that nothing was going to deter me. And now the first couple of weeks were pretty good. Then we had an event and it was a little wobbly. And then after that, I was like, no, wait, you can't track this way. Go down. So it's been 10 weeks and I dropped 31 pounds in 10 weeks. Well, how did I do that? Well, what was it? Mindset. And each and every week I have a goal that I am going to lose this much weight. So for example, I wasn't there. So what did I not do on Sunday? I didn't eat all day. I went for a 3-hour walk. And when I came home, I hit the heavy bag for another 15 minutes at night before I went to bed. And when I woke up in the morning, guess what? I got to my goal. I just determined that's what I was going to do. Right. And I got a little bit further. I'm going to go a little bit further. I'm going to push down a little deeper than I need to. I'm at a great weight right now, but I want to push deeper. That's mindset. Now, how do you get that? Well, how do you build that up? Well, how do you apply that in your business? You've got to make your business, you got to make whatever you're focused on, whatever your goal is, you've got to make it the most important thing in your life. It's got to be a must. It's got to be a have to. It's got to be something that you're going to get no matter what. Nothing's going to stop you. Nothing is going to keep you from getting this. And why is that? Well, because if you don't, you're going to get distracted. There is enough distractions out there. There's enough things that can take you out. It's huge. I can't say this enough. You got to double down. You got to focus on this. And the other thing too is you got to look at your phone as a tool, not as a distraction. If you're scrolling on Facebook all the time, if you're chattering around at the late, all this stuff, right? What I do is there's a couple things I like. There's 3 sites I like and Facebook. So I set aside a few minutes each day where I allow myself to go on there and do something. But for all the time that I'm going on there to kind of do something like, not doing anything, scrolling your friends and all that sort of stuff, I say I got to put an equal amount of time into my business. And I just implemented that because social media is a really powerful hook. Books. I'm always reading books. Anytime I take a plane, I read 2 books. I read a book wherever I'm going. I read a book whenever I come back. I'm a fast reader, so I'm lucky. Podcasts. I listen to a minimum of 1 podcast a week. And when I'm in a flow, it'll be a podcast a day. If I'm driving somewhere, let's say I go on a road trip. I love those like long 6-8 hour road trips. I'll binge on something that I need to learn. So one of my business partners, Matt Gallant, you can go to Matt Gallant TV. He's got three extra productivity. He's got some great mindset tools around that, how to do that. He talks about that, about just-in-time learning versus just-in-case learning. Just-in-time is what is the next thing I need to learn, and then focusing on that is the thing that you need to learn. And that's going to be positively impacting you and giving you confidence to go out there. So there's a dual effect. When you do things that aren't contributing to your business, it undermines your confidence in your mindset, right? So you got to say, is this helping me? So the question you ask yourself, is this reaching me towards my goals or not? Is this action taking me towards this goal or not? Maybe you like watching videos, same thing. What I like about podcasts and stuff is you can listen to them when you're doing other things, and that's great. Not everybody learns auditorially that well, though. I'm not that great auditorial person, but at least it's putting good stuff in my brain. But ultimately, you need to get inspired with practical information. That's really important. And then the other thing about your mindset, and I just had a conversation with a good friend of mine recently. This is tart cherry juice, by the way. Oh, it's tart. Doing a liver gallbladder cleanse this week. Gonna crank it down a little bit more, right? Mindset. So talking to a friend of mine, actually, I actually got this from a friend of mine who's very, very successful in the online and investment world. He's a very well-known name. We get to hang out. We're from the same town. We hang out, once or twice a year. And he says every year he looks at his peer group and he looks at it objectively with radical honesty about the people he spends time with and the people he hangs out with and the people that he puts his time with. Because he says it's taking time from my family, it's taking time from my business, so whom I hang out with. So here's the thing. Maybe you've had somebody in your life that's been there for a long time. And you might be the best of friends. And you start a new endeavor. You start going in a new direction. You start a new diet. You start a new business. You start a new course. And your friend's like, what are you doing that for, man? You don't know anything about that. And you get deflated. Or your family. Or your coworkers. Now, some people you cannot help but interact with. But you have got to get honest about the people, the 5 people, as Jim Rohn says, in your group, because you're about the average of those 5, what you're doing, where you're going, and are they helping you get there? And if not, you got to start seeing them less. You don't have to say you're done. Start seeing them less and start seeing people who are raising you up more. That's a mindset, and that's a tough one. But if you don't do it, it's just easy to go backwards. Okay? Tough stuff. I'm giving it to you straight. Belief. Now, belief without works is insanity. Belief with works is a recipe for success. So I think it was Earl Nightingale said, or in the Strangest Secret, that audio, which is great, is that you tend to get what you think of most of the time. That's powerful. You tend to get what you think of most of the time. So what are you thinking of most of the time? And this is where beliefs come in. You got to have big goals. Big goals. You need to write them out, do videos. They got those video things that you can watch. I built one of those. You got to do all kinds of stuff. You got to have big goals. Why do you got to have big goals? Well, you need something inspirational. But there's a way to do goals that's really interesting. There's dream thinking and then, just radical, I know Tony Robbins just does a dump of every possible thing you could want. And then he starts to decide to take them from the dreams. What am I actually going to work on? Now I learned another thing from a mentor a long time ago. I went to this course called the Millionaire Mentor. It was run by a guy named Raymond Aaron, one of Who's Who of Canada, actually. And inside that, he taught me a process that was really great for setting goals. And that was the minimum, the target, and outrageous, right? So why is that important? Well, if you see on my chart over here, I have the minimum amount I need to make every month, the target that I have to make every month, and then the outrageous of what I have to make every month. What will be outrageous? And I keep that on my radar. I'm always looking because it activates your RAS, your reticular activating system, and you start looking. It's like if you buy a blue Volkswagen Bug and you just get it, then you start to notice every blue Volkswagen Bug on the world or every Volkswagen or whatever. You never do that? That's your RAS. There's literally, we're only seeing less than 1% of what our brain's taking in. We're only paying attention to less than 1%. It's just too much data. So by putting goals and focusing on your targets, minimum target over, minimum is something that you can, you can get absolutely without trying, you can get the minimum. A target is what you think you can really do legitimately. You think about it, you put the time in. Yeah, that's my target. Outrageous. That's like, okay, man, if I did that this month, that would be something. Or if I did that this year, and break it down. Again, you want to get it down to that 90-day plan. Okay. Now, when you set your goals, you got to tie into it why you are doing it. I'm doing this so I am going to earn $100,000 this month. Okay. So that I can provide the lifestyle I want for my family. Okay. Right? so that you need that emotional hook. And then you got to enforce it daily. You got to be reading it. You got to be writing it. You got to be saying it. And more importantly, you got to take daily actions towards it. You got to understand your numbers, whatever your numbers are, whether it's losing weight, whether it's making a business, whether it's actions with your spouse. So for example, right? I'll give you an example how this applies. Not related to my business, but very, very important. So for example, I got over here my 90-day action plan. I have 4 things on my relationship goals that I want to, like, we'll give a massage a week, take a long walk with my girlfriend, 1 special dinner out, 1 present a week, and 1 trip per month. So I look at myself and I go, did I do all those things this week, in this month, right? Did I do it? So you can apply this to anything, right? I look at my, I look at my health and fitness goals, right? What do I have, right? Here is my minimum: lose 1 pound a week, ideally 2 pounds a week, outrageous 3 pounds a week for the next 90 days. But guess what? I'm at outrageous. Now, on Saturday, I was below outrageous. On Saturday, I wasn't even at my minimum. I hadn't even lost a pound that week, a full pound. And I was like, it's not acceptable. I did what it took. And that goes back to mindset and belief. And why do I know that I can do that? Because I track every week and I see that I've lost that every single week. I can do it this week. I did it last week. I did it the week before. I did the week before that. I did the week for that. I've done it. I'm going to do it. And belief builds up by taking action. And so you build belief up by setting smaller goals into bigger goals, into bigger goals, into bigger goals, into the outrageous goals, right? But you got to have those daily enforcers, those daily actions, know your numbers. And you need a routine, right? And that routine has to have inspirational message, inspirational self-talk. That's what gives you belief. Some tools, I think if you're having trouble, I think a lot of people struggle with belief. I think you've been indoctrinated with an education system that makes you feel stupid or not good enough. I mean, just because you got a C in math, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that you're not a great artist. It doesn't mean that you're not a great cook. You're not a great lover. You're not a great father. You're not a great mother. It just means that was their test. The interest is a big thing. So if you've been told a story that you don't believe in yourself, then you gotta grab some other tools to help you retool your belief. So Magic of Thinking Big, amazing book. Abraham Hicks, Asking It Is Given. Biology of Belief. If you're more on the scientific line, you can actually see how our genes get turned on and off with belief. What the Bleep Do We Know? That was a movie I watched a long time ago talking about setting up your fields. And this is actually proven by science and how we can actually change things. And then for people who really have a lot of challenges or you really can't get out of your way, you got to go get some neuro-linguistic programming. That was a technology developed by John Grinder and Richard Bandler. And then was taken by storm by Tony Robbins. But there's all kinds of NLP practitioners that can really help you and learn this stuff. And also hypnosis. There's a lot of hypnosis courses where you can anchor beliefs, new beliefs or new patterns that override old defeating processes. These are belief tools. If you're struggling with belief, go through this whole list. Write them down: Magic of Thinking Big, Abraham Hicks, Biology of Belief, What the Bleep Do We Know, NLP, Hypnosis. Do it all. Do it all. And you'll be glad you did. Okay? Now, posture. Posture is really interesting because you get posture when you have the right mindset and you have the right belief. Now, in NLP, they'll talk about taking on the posture of that person, and then the thoughts will come into that. So there's a physiological component to posture. So I know when it comes to, our business or whatever, probably a lot of people have been blown up by, oh, what's the price of the machine? Oh, I can get technology better. I don't have this money. That's too much. That's a ripoff. I want the cheap one. I think I can get on Amazon, like all these other stores, right? We've all been blown up by these things. And your posture is going to determine everything. So for example, if you're looking for the business, you have to realize is you're not going out trying to find opportunity. And the posture is like, hey, we're looking for people with a burning desire to succeed, the willingness to be coachable, and a high figure-outable factor. Do you know anybody that fits that mindset? And I'm not looking for people who I'm trying to convince to get in my business. I'm looking for people who I want in my business. Big difference. Big difference. Okay? So when you're coming at people from this, whether it's from the health side or it's from the business side, you have to realize we've got the cookie. We are the ones with the opportunity. Don't let anybody take you down to that, and be clear, be honest, and be straight about it. And then really go into this and build up your posture around it. And that takes practice and it takes coaching. I do believe sales training is good. I love Jordan Belfort's straight line persuasion. I think it's a fantastic way to handle objections, to handle prospecting, to gathering data before you make a presentation. Very, very powerful. So for example, you know, when people talk about the price machine, is it the cost of the machine you're asking me about, or the value of our machine? See, because we provide outstanding value. Our company is world-class, and I'm the most dedicated person in the industry. That's what you're getting. You're getting way more than a product. You're getting this experience. You're getting a great company. You're getting an amazing person, myself, you know, that is going to take care of things for you, right? Make sure things. What are you doing selling machines? I'm not selling machines. I'm transforming people's lives. I'm transforming families. I'm bringing value all across the world, right? I'm not selling machines. That's a byproduct. I'm helping people overcome physical and financial distress. Physical, financial, and psychological distress. That's what we do. And we do it really well, and you got to find out about it. And shut up. Say it, and look them in the eye, and be quiet. Just like that. Be quiet. And look them right in the eye. And that's what changes people. Okay? All right, this guy's serious. And then what happens is there's an exchange of energy, and they start coming down. Another line, our machines are an investment in your future health and your family and the environment. The bottom line, it's good for your health, your finances, and your family and the environment, and the savings alone will more than offset the purchase price of your investment. Fantastic. Do you want something that's good for your health? Do you want something good for your finances? Do you want something good for your family? And how about on top of it, it's good for the environment. And with the savings you make from the machine alone, it's going to more than offset your investment. Let's get you started today. Posture. Again, you have to be bulletproof and Teflon coated about your product, your company, and yourself. And as Jordan said, people need to be a 10 out of 10 on you, 10 out of 10 on the product, and a 10 out of 10 on the company. Our company, our founder, Mr. Oshiri, is in his 70s, celebrating his birthday in March, lives in Okinawa, fantastic guy, has gone all around the world, lives very humble guy. You know, he started this in an apartment in Tokyo. He hasn't let up. You got to check this guy out, right? Our company's been around for 45 years. We have sales and points of sales and service and distribution all around the planet. We can put a machine in anybody's home, anywhere, any place, anytime. And we're looking to get you next. We've moved over 1 million machines, and we're continuing doing, and there's no hotter topic than water, and there's no better value than what we have to offer. And if you don't understand that, obviously my presentation isn't quite up to snuff. Let me go back over some of the things because you really need to get this. That's it. Posture. So you do this by practice. You do this by putting your mindset together, by practicing your beliefs and getting some sales training. If you're not making sales, if you're not growing your business, if you're not going, get some sales training. Okay? Sales training will transform your life, not just in business, in your relationships, and in everything that you do. Power of repetition, study, and discipline. I've put this slide in here again. I put it in other slides because it's so important. Right action. You got to do the right action over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. You got to do them. You know, the top athletes in the world, they run the routes in football. They run the routes in basketball. They swing the bat. They throw the ball. They jump over the hurdles. They run out. What do they do? Practice, 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 practice. We just got done the Olympics recently. I mean, do you know how much repetition those guys do? It's refining the nervous system. All of these things are the same thing. Study. You got to study your field daily, weekly, year after year. Leaders are readers. Leaders are readers. That's been proven over and over and over again. Discipline. Discipline equals freedom, right? Jocko Willink, Navy SEALs. He's on Tim Ferriss' podcast. It's pretty heavy stuff. He's into the war. He's the most decorated current soldier, I think, out there. And he's a brilliant guy, scary dude. But he talks about discipline. You want to understand discipline, but you got to be willing to give up frivolous things your friends are doing, because 97% of the population die broke. Okay? They die broke. So are you going to be that person? Are you going to be that person? Now, finally, discipline comes from having a vision in your life, right? People used to say, wait, how do you get so disciplined with your bodybuilding course and this thing's, all that sort of stuff? Well, I said, well, you know, I was disciplined because I had a clear goal and a clear vision and a clear mindset. And I read the books. I did self-hypnosis. I turned NLP, and I trained every day, and I dieted every day. Well, how did I do all that stuff? Well, I did all that stuff because I had a clear goal in my mind, and that goal superseded everything. Now, albeit there was some tunnel vision there and I missed out some parts of life, but you know what? It worked out okay. Same thing if you want to get done in your business. You gotta get rid of the stuff that's sucking your time. You got to get rid of the people who are bringing you down. You got to get rid of the garbage in your life that's cluttering your brain. You got to focus on the things that are going to get you to the next thing. There is nothing in this business. There's nothing in your life that isn't learnable. There's nothing that you can't do if you're willing to put in the time, effort, and energy. It just comes down to that. We all have the same amount of time in the day. Discipline comes from having a vision in your life. Now, here's the obstacles. Here's the obstacles that are going to come up when you get off. You get all pumped up from this call or whatever, but at the end of the day, friends, family, associates. You're going to have friends, you're going to have family, and you're going to have associates that are going to be in conflict with your goals and dreams. You got to see them less. Next thing, your past. Your past. And what do I mean by your past? Your prior programming from the past. Oh, it never works. If you keep doing the same thing over and over, you keep having the same experience. Talked to a lady the other day. Wonderful lady. Just really awesome person. I really like this person. And they'd gone through the business and they had the same situation essentially come up with 3 different people over the course of a couple of years. And she goes, why is this happening? Exactly what you believe you need to attract. So you tell me what the issue is. And she actually told me what the problem was. You know what the problem is. You know what your challenge is. You honestly know, you're just not willing to give it up. Now, with prior programming, there's a lot of trauma out there. There's a lot of stuff. That's where you need NLP. That's where you need a practitioner. That's where you need a coach. You need a mentor. You need that. Okay. Now, next thing. What's another obstacle? Your current circumstances. But here's the key point. You might say, I don't have any money. I don't have any credit. My wife won't let me. My husband won't let me. There's all these different circumstances. And you say, you know what? You got to take your circumstances and turn them into the reason why. You have to get to like that point where I was too heavy and I looked at myself with disgust and I said, never again. I'm not doing this. I don't like this. I don't like my current circumstances. I didn't say, oh, well, what's the choice? What's the hope? Right? I didn't say that. No, I said, because of my circumstances, I need to do this. Because of the pain I'm in, because of the point I'm uncomfortable, because of whatever reason that is, that's why I'm doing this. Okay? Now, doubt. of any kind you must address. Doubt of any kind. So what do you need to do to get past it? Now, I had a situation going on, really intense situation. Me the other day, she's like, wait, I don't know what's going on with you because you're not present. I'm usually pretty present with her. And I wasn't, because this thing was just weighing on my head. I didn't know what to do. It was a really tough situation. And for me, I meditate. I tap into divinity. I tap into a higher power. I tap into that zone. And that's what helps me feed my belief. And what was interesting is this really difficult situation. I fasted, I did everything. And then I woke up this morning and I had my answer. So focused. Mindset. I had the belief. Mindset. I tapped into the thing. And finally, I got the answer. And dealt with the situation, and it kind of resolved. So pretty cool. And it resolved in a really unique way, which is interesting. So doubt. You have got to get doubt out of your mind. Every time the doubt monsters come again, you got to have a way of interrupting that pattern and rewriting that program, right? Doubt. It's a big one. And that's why things like magic of belief, another guy, Hal Elrod, I was just hanging out with him, the Miracle Morning, the guy had cancer and he was hit by a transport truck and was all busted up. And he's the most amazing guy that you ever met. Fantastic. And yeah, he has a Miracle Morgan program. So finally, I'm going to talk about mentorship. Listen, you need mentorship. You need guidance. You need help. You need accountability. You need a regular meeting with your mentor. You need a coach, and your coach might be your mentor. If you don't have that, you can get there, but you're not going to get there very quickly. You're not going to get there as fast as you could. And everything that you're going to invest in a good coach or a good mentor is going to be worth it. Because number one, you're going to have regular meetings. Number two, you're going to have accountability. Number three, you're going to have someone to give you feedback on yourself that isn't your friend, that isn't your family, isn't your spouse, that is there to give you real legitimate feedback, real legitimate tools to help you grow as a person, help you grow in your business, help you achieve your goals, and help you keep accountable, right? You got to find it and win, or you got to forget it and fail. What do you mean find it? What do I mean by find it? You got to find it. You got to find the thing, the one thing that's going to push you over the top. You got to find it. You got to ask for it. You got to look for it. You got to search for it. You got to buy it if you have to. Find it and win, or forget it and fail. And that might be tough. That might be harsh. It's pretty intense words I'm using here. But the reality is this. You can have excuses or you can have victories, but you can't have both. Forget it and fail, or find it and win. That's what it comes down to. So when we talk about this, again, mastering your inner game comes down to mindset, comes down to belief, comes down to posture. For all you guys on Facebook today, hi there. And for everybody here from the Prosperity and Health Alliance, I'm Lightheart. Thanks so much.